Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Lilu Nishmasi Mimeros Hirus Mordechai. Zishkoyach to all those who were mishtatev in the brand new lockers. Bemis, people mainly from America donated. We're going to put their name on top. We are also looking for donations for the bottom. It's coming next week with some beautiful, the granite not yet, but we're looking for sponsors for the whole coffee station. Big matzav is going to be beautiful. Beis is upgrading. This is Sam Kleiner learning Torah on the plane. These are the Eisenstarks. Die ganze Mishpacha. Meir Endursky from Beitar. Learning, it's going gewaldig. A guy came 2 nights ago. His name is Birevach. He told me he's not related because his name was really Aberbach, but not related to you. He himself bought that 16,000 shekel coffee maker for the Beitar Chevra. They already have like 10 guys for you. He didn't pay for 16. He got it a great deal, but it's the same company as ours, but upgraded with a massive screen that could do also hot chocolate. A massive machine.
Watch the serum.
What?
You can watch the serum while you're in coffee.
Yeah, you could. No, you put pictures on it. Oh, the Rechasim. What did I say, Beitar? Rechasim. You're right. Rechasim. The Rebbe Omoiri, where is it starting today? Givatayim. So, Bekitzer, we have 2 in Eretz Yisrael, Beis Hashem, a 3rd one, and the Olam is investing in it. There's food there, there's drinks, it's geschmack, and in Lakewood also. So, Beis Hashem. Dear Rabbi Omoiri, the chicken is now shaking and baking with the daf, because I said the joke about why did Peretz Chaim Levine cross the street to get the chicken. The article I sent to Rabbi on the Yard of Rebelsky had an interesting insight on learning the daf. The author of the article, Sholem Smith, mentioned that Rav Yaakov Kamenetsky Zchut used to urge the Bnei Torah and the Koilim Galai to learn Daf Yomi. He stated that it would help them become familiar with the length and the breadth of Shas and not be limited to the Yeshiva Masechtas commonly studied. I saw it in what you showed when he sent me. I forgot to mention it. But this is something we can learn. Here's a guy that brought over 2,000 people to the shir. What are his tricks? Here's his trick, Rabbi Isai. This is actually one of my pitches when recruiting people to the shir. I would say at least 1/3 of the people that I get to join are already people who have Zdarim and Limudim, but they are either just learning Gemara Be'ir, or some other limud. This was actually the case of the first person I recruited at the Camp Expo, a few others as well, this week. If the person is already learning the daf, I convince them to try Rebbe Shir, as I feel they'll get a more geschmack in their learning and be able to retain it better as well due to all the mnemonic devices that Rebbe employs. Okay, I'll take out the word Rebbe. That you employ to help explain the Gemara. I know I would be lost without it. There was one particular sign up that I did that day that was particularly emotional. It was a person who learned in yeshiva and hadn't picked up a sefer in almost 50 years. I'm hoping that through the efforts of you and you, Shlita, you will regain the geschmack in learning, and maybe one day there will be even an interesting email coming from someone. Lately, between the new way the charts are being presented in spectacular animations, I just can't wait to see today's daf will hold. Kudos to Yoshi and the crew, your Talmud Peretz Chaim Levin. Somebody sent me this. I was very emotional watching this. The great tzaddik, the Kloisenberger Rebbe, who was a Rebbe, but he pushed Torah in a crazy way. He did Mifal HaShas. He was just, so it's in Yiddish. It's about a minute long, but he says a beautiful thing here. It's a pitch that I tell people a lot, and you heard it from me probably, where I compare Torah to tefillin. And I always ask people, I asked Balabatim, do you wear tefillin every day? And they said, yeah, of course. And I said, how come you don't learn every day? And it hits them. They said, what's more important, tefillin or Torah? So listen to what he has to say. I'm not going to translate everything. You'll hear from the words what he says. He says in the side of the Shulchan Aruch, he brings a Vavei Amudim. It appears on the side of the Shulchan Aruch when it says, okay, here it goes. But just to see him, I don't know if it's one of the only times I've ever seen him like this. And look at the tables. Rabbi said, look at the tables of the Sima Shas. He was there. Hold on, I want to show you the tables again. The table, the way they set it up, there was no tablecloth. You can see under the table the 8th Sima Shas. You were there.
Yeah, 1982.
1982. Here we go. Tav Shemem Gimel. B'tzadyon Medicine Square Garden. The Ikya is Torah in this world.
The Ich Seiten so das Kure, durch Buche, Bereich im Yisrael, Eile Vishvil Torah. Shabbat. Nicht Chemisch.
Not Chumash.
Nicht Yosef, the Bible.
You're not Yosef if you read the Bible. You have to learn a black Gemara. I want to promise you.
Aber es nicht bräuchte, auch noch mal die, was du machen, du, dem Daf Yomi, als es du, bei Amidem, sie gesagt, der Hirsch, dass wir landen mit der Saat nicht so vor. Mitzvah und mit Bachol Yoim, Yemua, im Toske mit Teuswiss, Kamoishi, Mitzvah oder Niachzwiss.
Like it's a mitzvah to wear tefillin. Okay, so the kids are. That's what he had. No, so he goes on to say that he said that that's what he was saying. He said, I'm talking here to Daf Yomi, and I'm scared to say this in Daf Yomi, but maybe the Olam should do Taisvus. He's pushing Taisvus. We do all Taisvusin, as long as they're...
It was at the Felt Forum, there were 5,000 people in the room. They said, wow, because the first we had 5,000 people.
5,000 people. No, but it said Medicine Square Garden. Oh, the side, so I got it. From Rabbi Sammy Joseph, gave this to me a while ago. It's on my desk for a while, so I just want to read it real quickly. Dear Rebelli, I can confidently say that since Abi and I joined MDY, Abi, if you recall, when he was 10 years old, he asked me a kasha middle of shir that I didn't have an answer for, something about Lavod, and at the end I found it in the Orchel and or something. Big Bal Kishrin. He's been doing the daf with us since Psachim. You're one of the only people whose face I've seen virtually every single day for the past 3 years. School in or out, working or vacation, weekday Shabbos Yontiv, appendicitis or hernia surgery, our consistency in Libet Torah, and ABCing to just know everything already at age 14 is due to you and your team and your dedication to making Libet Torah clear Geshmak for this generation. I personally owe you tremendous Hakar Satayv. It seems you're already doing an excellent job regarding customer appreciation. Kids, you got me a book on customer appreciation. Your relationships even more, bringing MDY to new heights and helping you in pursuit of achieving the ultimate goal of MDY, bringing Jews closer to Hashem and His Torah. Be'ez Hashem, Abi and I look forward to finishing shots with you. Wishing you much atzlacha, bracha atzlacha, and everything. Your friend, Sammy Joseph. Yishkoyach Sammy Joseph. Put it back. Now I can put this away. It's coming off my desk into my file. Okay. The voice as you heard, Rabbi Mendy Birevach had enough, and so therefore we're going to go to the...
That's 7:24.
Yeah. No, he's the Vaiter guy, not you. The Vateruv. The Masechta is sponsored Refuah Shelaima for Yosef Chaim Shmuel Ben Alte Nechama from his grateful family. He made it into a video. I don't know if it's in there today. He was in a video. He made it. Yeah. The 3D animation. Weiter. I had to mention it. He's going already. The Masechta of Hatzlacha Baruch ובגשמיות. The Masechta Larry Cohn in memory of Yechiel Moshe Ben Chaim who started learning Daf Yomi at age 70. The Masechta is sponsored for the unity of the Jewish people. The Masechta, Glenn Esterson, with love and gratitude from Wilmington, North Carolina. Thank you for enriching my life in Torah. Parnasa Chodesh. Nishmas Chai Ben Moshe, Nishmas Chai Ben Yosef. Parnasa Chodesh. Zchut. Parnasa Birevach for Baruch, Tzvi, Nissim, Shoshana Leo Amen. Parnasa Chodesh with a course of Toy from Anonymous. Shkoyach. Parnasa Chodesh. Shprintzy Alan Gross. Shlomo ben Yitzchak Isaac Zchut Lebracha ben Yon Isaac ben Tzvi Hirsch Cohn Zchut Lebracha and Refuah Shelaima for Yonis and Eitan ben Bas Sheva Bracha. Parnasa Chodesh. By the one and only from South Africa, Leon Welcher, for the speedy release from house arrest of Ari Rosenfeld, Aaron Ben Hinda Esther Gittel. Parnasa Chodesh sponsored by HYK Ventures in honor and for the success of...
Why is he on Zoom?
Huh? Oh, what did I say? By the way, this is the most expensive sponsor on this list. It's the Koil of the month, for real. It's $10,000. Sponsored by HYK, related to Avi Kamiansky, Ventures in honor and for the success of all our clients.
And he's part of the Kohn.
Oh, he's sponsoring himself. He comes every morning with his chavrus and learns in this room. Eli Stefansky for Zchut for our family. May this Zchut merit, Parnasa Shavua. May this Zchut merit a shidduch b'kor for Tzipora Bas Mindel Esther. And the one I said is also before Parnasa Shavua. Eli Stefansky for Zchut for our family. Parnasa Yoim, 4 of them. Jack and Fegi Warman, Lezech Nishmas Rocha Bas Tzvi Blabstein. Parnasa Yoim, Tali Forking. In memory of my mechitin, Rabbi Yidi Leibowitz, Zchroinel of Racha, who got me in Zisha, and sometimes Yumi, hooked on the daf. It's unbelievable. I just met another guy that Rabbi Leibowitz brought. Rabbi Yidi Leibowitz, such a young guy. He was our in-house art. What's his name? No, he made our art, our signs. Graphic designer. He was our graphic designer. He was nifter during COVID. And as we know, Sally Fortgang, who always spoke about him and then did the thing for Lili Shmasa, and his father did by his caver. The whole thing, he married his daughter. Parnas Hayoim Tzvi, may this chus be Refuah Shelaima for Chaim Yisrael ben Chaya Reza Amen. Parnas Hayoim Daniel Kahana in honor of Rebbetzin Chaya Mushka Bas Rav Yosef Yitzchok Schneerson on her yard side. The Nechama should have an aliyah. Art of the month for schus for Eli and the whole MDY staff to continue to make Torah on Juva for so many. And art of the month and honor Yossi Klein and Mark Ashkenazi for all the work they do. Rabbi say Daf. I have a question. If somebody created a human being out of Sefer Yayitzira, you might be looking at me like I'm crazy. But it's in today's Gemara and Rashi brings. How's it? Oh, it's in the Daf topics.
What's the Shiloh?
Shiloh is, could he join a minion? A. B, could you take a knife and cut off his head? Stop for fun. Could you kill him? Well, you would kill him. Is it like worse than like killing an animal, like a cow? You have to say bracha when you shecht him. Are you allowed to shecht him? Like, what's the halacha? What's going on here? How do we view him? He's not a human being, but is he? So he's not mitzvah to minion. So you could kill him. You're saying you could kill him. You're passing, you can kill him.
If he was alive, then if he was around, you could kill him.
If he was ever existed.
The Sheo Me'ava says just because it's not a nefesh doesn't mean that it's not going to kill.
You say you're not allowed to. Oh, so we have somebody that says you're not allowed to.
But the way he kills by taking the name.
Sure. All right, Zok the Mishnah. Top of Samachay Amud Aleph. Bal Oiv. So there's Oiv and Yedoini in the Torah. This Oiv, what's Oiv? Ze pitoim hamedaber mishechio. It's a gross thing. It's like you bring down a neshama, you put him in your armpit, and he starts talking from within your armpit. No. Bone is the next thing. That's Yedoini.
So what do they put there?
The neshama. Here. If you want to see, I told Yoshi it's kind of gross, so you got to do something about this. It's a guy's armpit. It's kind of smelly. So I said, okay, we'll take care of it.
Get over
Say it. So Yedoini, as the Gemara is going to explain, there's a bone called, there's an animal called Yedua, and you take this bone from Yedua, that's why it's called Yedoini. You take this bone, you put it in your mouth, you start talking. Hare elu beskilo. Now, I thought this to myself, but then I found that actually there are those who say, this is from the Rishonim, that this never even existed. This is all achizas anayim, it's like magic. People hid underneath, they spoke. Like one of my favorite things, I once saw a whole show about what? And they bring the kash from the shul, and he argues, he says no, and she's this, and maybe it was real, that at one time she was successful. But kids, they ask, it's the Radak. Radak says it never happened, but Akol Panim, you see from this that even most hold that it's possible. But there is something called this trickery. Some people could do it. Some people, I was just thinking, more like this. Here, check this out. This is like for a second.
Good evening, Ahmed. Good evening. Infidel.
Ventriloquist.
You're a terrorist.
Ventriloquist.
Yes. I am a terrorist. What kind of terrorist? A terrifying.
There's a beard also.
Terrorist.
The kid said, okay, you have to,
Are you scared?
it's coming from the guy.
Not really, no.
The kids, okay, you get the idea. So it looks, Ki'ilu.
That's Beskila?
No. I'm saying that half the time it's not even true. But I really just wanted to tell you this maisa that I heard. A maisa. A guy went to a bar and he told the guy, if I could show you something that you've never seen in your life, will you give me a free drink? This guy said, okay. So he takes out of his pocket a mouse, And from the other pocket, he takes out a little piano, he puts him down on the bar, and the male starts playing a song. So guys, you can't believe it. So he gives him a free drink. Then he says, if I can show you something else that you've never seen, even better than this, will you give me free drinks all night? The guy says, yeah. So he says, okay. So he takes out from his other pocket, he takes out a frog. He puts him down next to the mouse. The frog starts singing songs, and this. The guy, he's blown away, so he says, okay, free drinks. Then the bartender says, how much do you want for the frog? He says, I'm sure I'm going to sell the frog. This is my Parnasa. So I'll give you $50,000. Okay, $50,000, I'll take it. He gives him $50,000, and then the bar guy says, I don't understand. This frog, this thing's worth millions. You go around and you can make millions. Why do you sell so cheap? He says, what do you mean? The frog can't sing. The mouse is a ventriloquist. What do you call him? Ventriloquist.
He's the ventriloquist.
The mouse is a ventriloquist. The frog is garnished. Stop there. Okay. Talk to Gemara. But you see from this Ma'is Shahaya, you see there's such a thing that you can fool people. Harele b'skilo. V'anisha bohem like Sholem Melech, mamish like Sholem Melech. That there is such a Ma'is Shahaya. Ma'is Shahaya. V'anisha bohem ba'azara. V'anisha bohem ba'azara. If you ask the Oiv, the Yidoni, the Oiv, here, this is the old picture where did Yoshi do it? Here, this one. You bring out a Nechama, and you remote control it. So, if you just ask, Shol doesn't get Misa. Shol, first of all, he did it for Tzals Nefashis, the whole thing, Pikuch Nefesh, but he just went to ask the woman. The woman is Chayev. Says Gemara, Ma'ishnocha, Diktoni Bal Oiv, V'Yedoini. How come our Mishnah refers to both, the Oiv and Yedoini? U'Ma'ishna Gabi Krisus, Diktoni Bal Oiv, V'Shayr Yedoini. So we had this Mishnah literally the other day. I'll show you what we had over there. Remember, I showed you this thing, but I'm going to show you another one. This. Says the Mishnah, Shloshim V'Sheish Krisus B'Torah. It's important to understand this, so it's just a few lines, but to understand. The first Mishnah increases, there's 36 Krisus. Starts off Habaleim, and then afterwards Ubal Oiv. It doesn't mention anything about Yedoini. Ask the Gemara, how come that Mishnah doesn't mention Yedoini? So we have two tirusim in the Gemara. Rabbi Yochanan Hoyu Lushteim Belav Echad Nemru. So here's the pasuk. Al tifnu ela oivos v'ela Yedoinim. So Rabbi Yochanan says very simple. That Mishnah is trying to tell us what is the maximum amount of karbanos a single person could bring. You bring a carbon, it's doni kares, shugigat sechatos. If there's a kares and you do it by mistake, you bring a chatos. So how many kareses are there? 36. So what's the most? A person will come with a truck, a U-Haul truck, to the Beis Hamikdash with 36 animals. Because he did 36 kareses by mistake. Could he do 37? If he did Yedaini, he could bring 37. The answer is no. Oiv and Yedaini are one. So therefore there's no reason for the Mishnah to bring it. I'm only telling you the maximum amount of karbanos. Rabbi Yochanan Amahoyel Shnei Belav Echad Nemru. Rishlakish Amar is not true. You would have to bring another one. Or you don't have to bring another one, but for a different reason. Yedaini lefi shein by Maisa. Says Rish Lakish, I don't say that Oiv and Yedoini are the same. I'm just telling you that Yedoini, there's no action taken. Why is there no action taken? How does Yedoini work? You take a bone, and you put the bone in your mouth, and then it starts talking. So what's the action? Is that action to take a bone and put it in your mouth? Yes. That is action. But that doesn't cause the talking. The talking is a delay. There's a delay. Let's say a 20-second delay. You put it in, and then it starts talking. So Mela, there's no connection between the action and the talking. Similar to, I don't know, I'm just throwing this out. L'saber, I don't want to, don't yell at me afterwards. But I saw a guy running around the neighborhood on Shabbos in a wheelchair, and he has a massive sign in the back. Don't throw, this is the Hechsher, the Chveisvos, this and this organization. So I think the way it works is something like this. You push a button, and there's like a 10-second delay. So it's not the Maisa. That's what they're saying. I'm not giving it. I'm not endorsing it. I'm just saying how they say that it's mutter.
You're not endorsing it.
I'm not. I don't even go in a. Typically speaking, I wouldn't even use the elevator on Shabbos that everybody else uses. I walked up 16 flights of stairs. Besides when my knee was, then I had to make Atar Sandar. Yeah. I'm not endorsing or not endorsing. I'm telling you a Maisa Shaya. There's a guy in the neighborhood, maybe one or two, because I've seen it a few times. Electric wheelchair, flying around, going at the shul, out, coming, going. But he has a sign on the thing. Like, don't. What's the word? V'yisim nekiyim. You gotta come clean. So he explains why he's doing it. Okay. Huh?
It's called a Grumma-mobile. They have them in America.
Grumma-mobile, exactly. Okay, great. Huh?
Even a car, you shouldn't throw rocks at it.
We're not going into that. You shouldn't throw rocks in Shabbos because they're muktzah. For other reasons. There's no maisa. Okay, so according to Rabbi Yochanan, they're both the same. Oiv and Yidoni. Just a simple technical question. Why did the Mishnah pick one out of the two? Why? Because Oiv is less letters. No, Mishum the Pasach Beikra. The Torah always says Oiv first and then Yidoni. So the Mishnah brought down Oiv. How come Rish Lakish doesn't like Rabbi Yochanan? Rabbi Yochanan seems to say a good thing, that they're in the same pasuk is the same lav, so you wouldn't bring two korbanos from Papa. Chalukim heim b'misa. Check this pasuk out. Visho Isha kiyeh b'em Oiv. Here you see again Oiv, it comes before Yidoni, but it says Oiv. It's separated. And Memela, once it's separated, it says Rish Lakish. It's two different lavim. You wouldn't bring one carbon for two. So how come you only bring one carbon and you don't bring one for Yidoni? Says Rish Lakish, because there's no maisa, there's no action. In order to bring, you have to have a lav sheish by maisa. A lav shein by maisa, there's no action. You don't bring a carbon. Rabbi Yochanan chalukah the lav. We're going to get to Rabbi Kiva in a second. Rabbi Yochanan chalukah the lav. Shema chalukah. If this was a loisase, great. The misa lo shema chalukah. Since this pasuk is talking about, but even yirgum oisam, you give them skila. So just because there's an eye there, for whatever reason, that doesn't separate them. And they're together. Says Rabbi Yochanan, I hold that Oiv and Yidoni are one. You get one, you only bring one carbon. Let's say a person performed Oiv. He spoke to Nechama under his armpit. And then he put a bone in his mouth. All with one awareness, within one awareness, knowing that those two things are asur, he only brings one carbon. Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Yochanan also has to agree that you have to have a maisa, and Yidoni is not a maisa. Because, as we explained earlier, it's a very similar sugya to what we had yesterday, the day before, that according to Rabbi Kiva, moving your lips is considered action. And Memela, that whole Mishnah goes like Rabbi Kiva. You don't need a real maisa to be chayiv. Rish Lakish need loy boy Rabbi Kiva ma'aser rabba. Time out. You're right. I agree that Rabbi Kiva holds, and that Mishnah goes like Rabbi Kiva. You don't need a great action. You don't need to shecht an animal. You don't need to do something. How do you define ma'aser? Ma'aser is really defined you taking action in something else. Look at me for a second. Is this ma'aser? I don't know. This ma'aser? No. Most people Chacham hold moving your lips is not a ma'aser. Ma'aser means take action in something, killing something, spilling something, turning on a light, taking action in another object, not moving your finger. You need some sort of action like moving your lips. According to Rabbi Kiva, that would be considered action. According to Chacham, that's not action. But by Yidoni, there's zero action. Why is there zero action? Because you put the bone in your mouth and you're grumming it. In 20 seconds from now, it's going to talk. So that's not an action. More about Rav Pam. Rav Pam used to go to a lot of simchas, smachos, if you want to be, a lot of simchas. I like to say simchas. Sidurim. So they asked him, shtiyot, shlusim. Scream, same thing. They asked him, why does Rosh Yeshiva do this? It takes up a lot of energy. I see Rabbanim, G'dolei Olam, they're running from this kiddush to that kiddush, and you have to, and it just takes up a lot of. So he said, Moirilik. He said, this chassan, I'm going to his simcha, he only gets married once. And for me to show up at his chasana, it would mean a tremendous thing for him. He'll tell his friends, like, I don't know that he said, I'm just throwing that in. So for me, it's a small action. I went there for 5 minutes, I came out. So for me, it's a maisa zuta, for him, it's a maisa rabba. So, Zok the Gemara, Megadef my maisa ikka. No, and what about cursing the Rebbeinu Shloilom? Where's the maisa? Akim a spas of having maisa. Moving your lips, that's the maisa according to Rabbi Kiva. Ask the Gemara, Bal Oiv, my Maisa Ika. What's the Maisa when you call a neshama to go underneath your armpit? L'chayra, you didn't do anything. Hakoshas Ra'osav have a Maisa. He plays this chicken game. He has to go like this somehow, and that gets him going, and that's the Maisa by moving your arms. Says the Gemara, Vafilu Rabbanon. What? Rabbanon argue Rabbi Akiva, and they say that a cursor, that's no Maisa. So cursing is not a Maisa, but Oiv is a Maisa. Going like this is a Maisa, but with the mouth is not a Maisa. Like, how do you differentiate something? How do you differentiate the two actions? We learned that according to, you only chayev on something that has a Maisa. Keep going. That's at the end of that Mishnah. Maybe I'll show it here. Yeah. Whatever. We'll show it in a second. You only chayev on something that takes action. Like what? Shechting an animal, barbecuing the animal, v'nisuch, pouring the wine, v'shtachava, and bowing. Oh, but bowing is different than all of them, and we discussed this also. Why is bowing considered a Maisa? Says the Gemara, and he said, Rabbi Kiva, he goes according to Rabbi Kiva, that you don't need a Maisa. Oh, so the problem is, according to Chachamim, it's only according to Rabbi Kiva that's considered a Maisa. You don't really need a Maisa, so Shtachava works, bowing works. But according to Chachamim, not. So according to Chachamim, we have a problem with Oiv. Why is Oiv a Maisa? Says Gemara, Afilu Temer Rabbanon, Fifas Kamosil or Rabbanon have a Maisa. Bowing, moving your spine, that's considered a Maisa. Hashlu Shlokish Fifas Kamosil. Now the Gemara asks the question. According to Shlokish, bowing down, the Rabbanon le'ave Maisa, moving your whole spine is not considered action. Hakosha's rois of the Bal Oiv have a Maisa, but going like this is action. What's the difference? You go like this or you go like this. It's the same thing. Says the Gemara, you're right. Kika Omar, when the Gemara says that moving your arms, that's considered action. Rish Lakish Nami l'Rekiva. He was only talking about according to Rekiva. You're right. Whoever holds that bowing down is not action, so moving your armpit is also not action, or moving your elbow, whatever it is. So then I have a question. So you're telling me Oiv is not an action. Oiv and Yedaini, not action. So then we have to see, look at the Mishnah here. It says again, this is 36. And all the way at the end it says, but one of them called Megadif. Look, it says in the beginning of the Mishnah, Bala Aim, Baha Megadif. Say Chachamim, Megadif is not a Maisa. So the question is, it should also say, this is another thing that's not, that we mentioned here. Same Mishnah I showed you before. Here, same Mishnah. Habala Aim, Ubal Oiv. One of the 36 is Oiv. So how come at the end of the Mishnah it doesn't say Oiv? It should say Megadif and Oiv are two things that are not considered action. Yotza Megadif Ubal Oiv Mibayle. Two things. By the way, I missed this. I just want to show you because anything that Yoshi works on, I completely forgot to show it. This is a Salamandra car wash. Did I show this? I don't think I showed this in English. I'll show it real quickly. Basically, if you put the kids through the Salamandra car wash, they could go through the Moilach without being hurt at all. And then there was another one that he did. This was a guy worshiping a goat. Remember we had the goat? I forgot what it called it a funny thing. So he's worshiping the goat. Oops. No. Okay. Anyways, and this is not working, but the goat pokes him in the eye, kind of thing. Okay. Zok the Gemara. A guy takes incense. He makes a terrace for a shade. So that's very actionable. That's an action. That's something that he's burning. He's doing on another thing. So that's a Maisa, and you're chayiv misa for that. If you're burning something for another entity, that's mamish avodah zara. As we're going to see in a second, what's l'chaber means to call the shed. How do you get this neshama to come to you? How do you get a shed to come? To what? To summon. So you have to summon. The summoning itself to do whatever they do. They say some shemas, they do some hokey pokey, and then the shade comes. So the shade, that's not the same. That's not that you're makater, this incense that you're doing, you made incense. So he's not doing it to the shade, it's for the shade to come to him. That's different. Wait, time out. That's the Issa D'Oraisa of summoning an animal, a shade, whatever it is, to come to you. You're forcing him to come to you. That's Chover Chover. And by the way, Chover Chover, you don't get Misa, you get Malchus. So it can't even be that's what we're talking about. Says Gemara, you're right, it is summoning this shed. If you do it for a shade, you get skila. If you do it for a bumblebee, for a snake, as we're going to see in a second, then you get malchus. But if you do it for shade, then you get skila. Calling these anything. Whether you, I said yesterday in the Hebrew shir about Mendy, because I thought about Mendy. Imagine Mendy going on a safari, knew how to do chayver chaver. He would. Instead of him going through the Kruger for 6 hours with his entire mishpach and his wife, his Mendy, where are you? Weiter, that's where he learned Weiter from being in the car with his ganze mishpach. He'd just whistle. He'd bring some incense, those buddhas, and all the leopards of the entire Kruger would come there, and you'd see cubs, and you'd see, what you'd see there. Also, this is the right to do it. Echad Chaver Godol. Godol means the cats, like Mendy called them the cats. I just want to see cats. Weiter. Can I just say one mice of a Chaver Katan? I just thought about it. We were on the safari. And all of a sudden we see a serval. Now, a serval, it's a type of a cat. It's like this big.
Yeah, it's very chashuv.
And Mendy's partner, Gilly, he was in the middle of davening. He had his tefillin on. But he's never seen a serval in his life, and he's been on dozens and dozens of safaris. And neither did Mendy ever see a serval. It's one of these things that it only comes out during the night, and the kids are in the small and they're very, very private, and they saw a serval. Gilly forgot that he was in the middle of davening. I'm not going to go into it. He went Meshuggah. Ah! First he tells the driver, turn off your radio. I don't want to hear any noises now. Gets there, but the best part was, and the excitement to see a Mendy, he's never seen a serval, and the serval comes mamish next to our Jeep and starts rolling in the ground. It's mamish performing for us. And all of a sudden, Gary, Weiter, I saw the cat already. Next, let's go. Mendy wanted to chop his head off. I'm his Shoshana. A cat? You're calling this a cat? Okay, so it's the size, it's like two cats. It's like this big. We finally get to see it, and he's saying Weiter. Mendy, sometimes you're not supposed to say Weiter. Yes? Weiter. There's a Chaver Gadol, and says, Gershon ben Moshe, vechot Chaver Katan. Even a small little serval. So even if you're going to bring snakes, why are you doing it? You want to get rid of all the snakes. You don't want a problem. Now, if you do it, they say mefurish. If you do it for sakanas nefashos, then it's okay. But if you do it stam, like to make sure that people don't, by mistake, see a snake, v'akrabim and scorpions. Also, I have a video of this, very interesting. If a person takes both a scorpion and a hornet or bee, whatever you want to call it, here. It says it's very interesting because the Gemara in Chagiga says that if you get stung by a scorpion, you need hot water. If you get stung by a hornet, you need cold water. So what if you're putting these two things together and you get bit by both of them? Warm water. No, that's it. You're messed up. It says there's no eitzah. You have to warm water and hot water. Okay, cold and hot. Avagav the mechaven the lelisku. Here, the Gemara says even though you brought these together, you want the bees and the scorpions because you don't want to be damaged by them. Also, you live in Phoenix. Mark Ashkenazi told me sometimes you put your foot into your slipper and there's a scorpion in there. The scorpion's it. According to Rabbi Yochanan, why is bending down, bowing, in Shemona Esrei, bowing is considered a maisa, but yet when it comes to Megadif, the cursing the Rebbeinu Shalom, you tell me that's not considered action. Lo have a maisa. Omar Rava, listen to this Yisayid. Before you turn the page, you got to pay attention here. Shani Megadif Hoyel V'yeshnei Balev. That the moving of the lips by cursors are nothing. Why? Because it's in the heart. How many times have you been in a taxi and the guy tells you, "Anidati balev"? Yeah, it's one of the most famous. Anidati balev. When it comes to cursing, it's in the heart. What's your intent? Not what you said. Did you mean to curse the Rebbeinu Shalom or not? And therefore, the movement of the mouth is zero. Doesn't do anything. So, hold on. Let's just get this question. You're telling me that because it's dependent on the heart, then the movement of the mouth is nothing. And if there's no heart involved, just movement of the mouth, then it would be an action. Here, there's a little bit of a twist there, a little bit of a chap. Movement of the mouth is a movement, but since I don't need the movement of the mouth, what I care about more is the intent of the heart. The cursing of the Rebbeinu Shalom is in the heart, not the words that he said. He could say these words all day long and it means nothing because he meant something else. But it's the intent of the heart. So in Mela, if there's no intent of the heart, like by Edim Zayimim, they're just saying, they're witnessing something, they're saying Pliny, Manu Yisem or whatever, then it's in the mouth. And that should be a Maisa. Yet we say that Edim Zayim is not a Maisa. Masar Reb Zera. You don't say Edim Zayim Shein Ba Maisa. It says that Edim Zayim is different than Avodah Zarah. Where are you? Where are you reading? No. It doesn't say that. No, that's your added thing. Amar Reb Zera. Yotzei Edim Zayim Shein Bohen Maisa. Why? The problem is moving your mouth and testifying in Bezdin. That's a Maisa according to you, Rava, Vamai, Halesnu Belev. Once I remove the heart Shabai, then I remain with a Maisa. Let's do this. Turning to the Daf, Innovations LLC, in honor of Elchanan Pressman officials, Chus Vakiv Simcha Ben Fego, a shidduch for Rivka Yehudis Basyafa Chayo, and thank you to Reb Stefansky. Reb Shimon, I keep on meaning to tell you, and I'll say this barabim, we have to be a little bit more makbid, not your fault, just let's from now on, one-liners, one line, even the monthlies. I know there's so many Baruch Hashem that we have to Leman the Rabbim. Here's a good mashal. Adar Global, experts in international financial services. 5 words, gewaldig. Next, anonymous. I'm not putting anybody down. I know it's hard, but there's so many. I looked at the morning, it's 5 monthlies, 5 weeks. It's gewaldig. So the Edim Zayim, says the Gemara, the main part of it is the sound that comes out of his voice box, but not the movement of the mouth. That's not what we're looking for. I heard a little bit of a vart, I'll say it over, some chassid told the Litvak, the Baal Shem Tov was such a kaddish that he was able to be in 2 different places at the same time. So the Litvak, as he was a real Litvak, he said, if so, it comes out that the Baal Shem Tov was Pasal Eidos, because it's the Eidos Shiyatei Chalazima. How could you say he was here, but he was really over there? V'koiler b'yochanan. Ask the Gemara, v'koiler b'yochanan lav maisahu. What? According to Rabbi Yochanan, a voice isn't va'itmar. Chasama b'kol. Here, let's say you made it. You did it Issa Deraisa. Here, you took this. I like this a lot because it's an older drawing that you add animation to it and it becomes this. Let's say you made the goat and the fish move just by screaming a word. Giddy up, whatever you scream in Hebrew, the dio, I don't know, every language, yeah? Or let's say the guy was he was in the middle of doing this, disha, threshing and the animal bent down to eat. You're not allowed to put a muzzle on an animal. So he didn't put a muzzle. He yelled at him. As soon as the animal put it, he yelled. Ah! They work with sound. I showed once a video. You can tell them right, left. They understand commands. No, don't touch the food. You're over, not over. Chasama b'kol, v'niga b'kol. Rabbi Yochanan chayav. So according to Rabbi Yochanan, voice is a maisa. What do you mean chayav? Why are you chayav? Chayav, you get malchus, you get it. So the answer, Rish Lakish Amar Potter. Rabbi Yochanan chayav. Why? And the Gemara even explains. Akimas piv have a maisa. Rish Lakish Amar Potter. Akimas piv lo have a maisa. So we have a machlokes. Rabbi Yochanan says that moving your lips is considered action. So this is a difficult, very difficult answer. That Zayimim are actually, what they're doing is that they're saying what they saw. We saw this. Seeing and thinking is not action. But at the end of the day, they didn't see it. They're being zoymim. So there's another girsay here on the side from the Rif. He brings the Rif, that goes at Yunim, that the Rif actually took out the Reish. Bi'iyah. Bi'iyah means that, and the way they explain it is that if one aide says, I saw this, and the other aide says, yes, like him, afani kamoyu, but the way to do it is iya in Aramaic, or ya in Yiddish, or whatever. You're agreeing to the other aide, that's your testimony. So you don't have to move your lips. It's something that's without, there you go, let's say So Memela, there's no action, there's no lips, and that is considered testimony. So Memela, all testimony, you don't need lips. Okay. Tanarabban. Now the Gemara gets its mamish gishmak over here. Ashtikal gadta. Ba'loiv, what's oiv? Zamadaber bein aprokim. So it's interesting, all joints. It could be your wrist, your finger joints. That's where you put the neshama in. Or the gross one under your armpit. Yedoini. I'm just trying to see if I'm missing something here. It's all over the place here. Oh. This is, I forgot to show this. This is the shed and the k'tairis, the makti k'tairis for shed. So that's Avodah Zarah. Okay. Everything is out of... Yidoini zaminiach etzim yadua befiv v'umedaber me'elov. You take a bone from this animal called yadua, and he starts speaking. The chinuch and the other rishonim explain, and the Bartanur explains what they mean. They say that it's actually this. Yadua, you heard about this guy. He's a creature that there's nothing more dangerous than this creature. But his umbilical cord is tied into the ground, and he can't move. He has like his dalat amis, but you cannot get close to him. So that's a yadua according to these rishonim. And if you take a bone from this wild animal, it could speak in your mouth. It seems like this oiv is me'eretz. What's eretz? Within the ground, in its caver. It's not outside, it's not in your armpit. Isn't it talking to you from within the grave? He sits by the joints. I saw a malach, meaning I saw Shmuel, coming out of the ground. So and he was starting to speak. Wasn't he talking from the ground? Shmuel went between the joints and then he spoke. Baloiv, what's oiv? There's two ways. One is that he attaches this neshama to his aver, to his bris, or he uses a skull. What's the difference between the two things? He comes up upside down. That's how she knew that she's talking to Shaul, because she was doing this all the time, and Shmuel, and but Shaul was there, and usually the neshama comes upside down, the feet up, head down, and all of a sudden she saw that this neshama of Shmuel was the head up, and she realized that she's talking to a king, she's talking to Shaul. Says the Gemara, Nishal begugailas, but if you speak to this doesn't happen on Shabbos. Nishal begugailas, here, this is Nishal begugailas, Rabbi say. You speak to the skull. What's going to happen? What's the weather? It's like Siri. No problem. It's going to be a little bit colder than usual. There's a little bit of snow in Yerushalayim. Okay? You guys know, like every day there's another plane crash. What is going on? Since Trump got in there. Every day. What Delta? After Delta, 2 people got killed yesterday, and 2 planes hit each other yesterday, which hardly ever happens. Smaller planes, huh? Arizona. But if you speak to the skull, it comes up normally, the head first, and you can talk to him on Shabbos. That's the Gemara, Oila, what? This Gulgoylas, it comes up. What do you mean comes up? Where's it going? Go, Manach. Look at the picture. He's sitting in front of him. He's not going up into your armpit or whatever. It answers normally v'oina b'Shabbos, and he answers on Shabbos. Vav Sheilah Zushal Tunas Rupas Haroshas Rebbe Kiva. Tunas Rupas asked Rebbe Kiva, what's the connection to Tunas Rupas? So we know that the famous story with Rebbe Kiva, he cried, he laughed, and he spit because he ended up marrying Tunas Rupas's wife. Omar Loi Umay Yomi Miyamim. Why is Shabbos different than any other day of the week? Omar Loi Umay Gvar Miguvern. Why are you different than any other human being? You're so important. You're a great whatever he was, the
Governor.
He was the governor of Judea. He was the head of. They sent him. He wasn't the king, but they sent him over there. He's the Sar. Amar Loi, the Marit Tzvi. What do you mean? The king sent me here. So Rebbe Kiva tells him, Shabbos not me the Marit Tzvi. Our master demanded that Shabbos should be different. Amar Loi, I get it, but what I meant to say is, so who told you that today? Maybe there's a mistake. Over the years, today is Tuesday. Amar Loi, Nahar Sabbatyon Yechiach. Here's the Sabbatyon. On Shabbos, there is no Sabbatyon. Sabbatyon is like threw up the stones and everything. Wherever this is, you go there and you'll see that it rests on Shabbos. But if you don't believe me, Ba'aloi Yechiach. So it doesn't work on Shabbos, Doiv. Only during the week. So the Medrash Rabbah says that Tunas Rupas went and tried this out. He started doing oiv with his father. He went to his father's grave, did oiv, and his father spoke to him Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and all of a sudden Shabbos not. So he went back on Sunday, and his father comes out. He says, "What happened to you? You became a Jew? You did gerus?" He said, "No. In Olam HaEmes, there's nothing going on Shabbos. Shabbos is a rest day." That's the Medrash Rabbah. And then Kivrei Shel Aviv, your father's grave, Yechiach, Sheim Halav Hashem b'Shabbos. Your father's grave, there's smoke coming out of it. But on Shabbos, there's no Gehenna. That's what they say. When Trump asked Bibi, I told you that all hell should break loose on Saturday at 12 o'clock. So Bibi told him, well, there's no Gehenna on Shabbos. And then after, well, that's it. You miss your opportunity. You missed the opportunity. Amalai! B'zisoi, b'yashtoi, b'kilaltoi. Look what you did to my father. You embarrassed him. You degraded him. Kilaltoi over here means you insulted him. Sharloi.
Means you won.
What?
You won. You vanquished me.
That's what it says?
Yeah.
No, I think it's talking about b'zisoi to my father. To my father. B'yashtoi to my father. Kilaltoi to my father. That's how I learned. What? Father. He's learning differently. Sharloi. When you ask the dead, you bring the neshama. Isn't that the exact same thing as talking to the dead? Says the Gemara, what is it? This is a tremendous Gemara. A person could give himself Yisurim and bring himself to a point where he's starving, Tanesim and everything, but for Ruach Tumah. Kedei shetishra of Ruach Tumah. Rabbi Kiva used to cry. If a person wants to get the Ruach Tumah, he could by doing all sorts of crazy stuff and going to the Beis HaKvaris and fasting and everything. So certainly, if a person starves himself in order to get that Ruach Tahara, the Nevuah, certainly. So just I'll just show you real quickly because Ari Chaim spoke about this in his status. Somebody showed me. Even if you didn't worship, you just said those words. Now, if you think about it, I think it's emes. So if you think to yourself, Rebbeinu Shalom, I'm making you the Rebbeinu Shalom, you say those words, which is Geshmak. Okay. What I'm trying to say here is that Rashi says this exact same thing. If I would just learn forward, that's why you have to learn Shas. Rashi says over here, Alakas Kamakama, Shi Hamido Nuisenis, Shaydei Titan Subakosha, Tishrael of Shechina, Daha, Mida, Toiva, Yisera. I mean, this is Parnasa. Okay, I mean, it's a famous thing. But 2 daf later, Rashi says the same thing. If by Tumah, a person can be Zoicha, so to speak, to get like a certain Ruach HaTumah, understand things that other people don't understand, and see things that people don't understand, just by sleeping in a cemetery and fasting for the Tumah, so you might as well do it for the Kedusha. I always say that I know people that are geniuses. They put all of us in their small pocket and they use the geniuses to steal from other people, to rob other people, to rip people off. If you just use the chachma to do business, why do you have to go and sleep in a cemetery and bring ruach tumah when you can do the same? You take your koiches and use it for kedusha. So he says, "Aval ma'aseh shabanisenu gorim ulanu." What can I do? Our averis cause that we can't get to that nevuah. Shenemar ki avanisechem oyim avdilim benechem levin elikechem. That our averis separate us and Hashem. Yet I want to just throw this in here. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I think it's true. The Gemara says you can't get Ruach HaKodesh, but it doesn't mean that you won't get other things. I mean, you won't get Nevuah. You might be able to get Ruach HaKodesh. You might be able to, you definitely go on a higher level of Kedusha. So try it out. Fast, and this and that, but for Kedusha. If the tzaddikim wanted to, they could create an entire world. And look what it says at the end of the puzzle we just read. But you could be like Hashem. Hashem will give you that koyach to create a world. But we have Averis. Says the Gemara, crazy story. Rava, bara gavra. Rava created a human being, says Rashi, with the Sefer Yetzirah. They say it about the Vilna Gaon. Many people bring it down about the Vilna Gaon, that before he was 13, he created something. And I asked the Hasidim if they say it. So I asked yesterday in Shir, I said, did they say this about the Rebbes, about the Baal Shem Tov? Because usually what they say about the Vilna Gaon, they automatically take and, okay. So a Chassid was in the room. He says, Chassidim don't have Goylums. We don't have Goylums. Okay. In other words, Baal Shem Tov didn't create a Goylum.
He started and he said he got Simanim from Shemayim to stop.
He started and he got Simanim to stop. Okay, that's why I wasn't so sure, but okay. Shalak HaMeder Reb Zera. Now he takes this human being, though, this creature that he created, Rabbah, it says Rabbah, and he sent him to Reb Zera. So the robot starts talking to Reb Zera. Hold on. Yeah. They were schmoozing. I mean, he couldn't schmooze. Reb Zera spoke to him, but he couldn't speak back. He didn't have the ruach memala that Baruch puts in a human being. I get it. You're from my friend. My friend created you, Rabbah. So there's a Mari that Gepshatim from Refuah Margolis. So over here you see that he killed him. Go back to he killed him. So Refuah Margolis says the famous Gemara that on Purim, it's Erev Purim, on Purim, Rabbah killed Reb Zera, shachted Reb Zera, and then he made a nes, and then he says, okay, you're going to come back for my Suda? He says, no, I was shachted once, I'm not tzomich a nes again. So he says, that's why he sent him this guy. He says, don't worry, I'm Milumid Ben Nissim, I do this all day. So he said, I got the message, delete. I could now delete it. I got the message, I chap what you're saying, now go back to your offer. Okay, I'll come for the Suda. Says the Gemara, Rav Chanina Rav Yishaya, Yasik Mali Shabbos Basket Sefer Yetzirah. They would learn the Sefer Yetzirah. Umibrila Igla Tilta. They would get this unbelievable calf, which is either the third born, which is the tastiest, or it's the third of its life. Rashi brings both shatim here. Interestingly, Ememela Vachlile, and they would eat it. Should I just say one more joke here? Rav Meir Mizaz says that the Ashkenazim, they don't know how to make a difference between a hey, aleph, and a ayin. So he says, L'moshel, they say, Oisim Bahaima V'oimrim Be'iru. That a Litvak or a Chussid makes Bahaimas every day. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.